Good morning and welcome to a very special video. This one's a bit weird because I don't actually know what's going to happen next. Yesterday I got an email inviting me to a special event for the Metro Tunnel, specifically a media launch to announce the opening date. This email did confirm that it would be later in 2025, and we've also heard through the media this morning that the Premier has confirmed it will be early December, but we don't know the exact date yet. There's been a lot of speculation about what exactly this looks like, so hopefully we can get all of this cleared up in just a second. After the briefing, assuming we behave ourselves of course, there will also be a tour of the new State Library station which was completed very recently. And this is one I haven't visited yet and I'm very keen to have a look. I'm guessing that I won't be able to film very much, if anything at all, at the upcoming media event, so the next part of this video might just be a black screen with some text or a voiceover. Either way, I'm excited to see what's coming up next, so come along and we'll see what this is all about. My name is Philip Mallis and I make videos about local history and transport here in Melbourne and Victoria. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, every little bit helps. Turns out that I was actually allowed to film and take photos at the launch, so here's some footage to show you what it was like inside. At this press conference, we'd been sat on the right side of the room where journalists and other invited guests were, while the entire left side was taken up by what looked like about half of the state Labor MPs for Victoria. After waiting a little while, the Premier finally arrived and the press conference got started. She ran through some introductions and background to the project, before getting into the main announcements of the day: the opening dates for the Metro Tunnel, timetables and service frequencies. Without taking you through the entire speech, here are some of the highlights from the Premier and the Minister for Transport Infrastructure, with my apologies for the poor audio.
And what that's meant, the Mernda extension, the Cranbourne duplication, the Hurstbridge line duplication, what that has meant is that we can run more services. It's going to help cut congestion. It's going to provide those ease of connections, saving passengers time and money as well, because they know they can leave the car at home. And we're getting ready to submit this project for its final safety accreditation with the Commonwealth regulator. And when we get that approval, we will be opening the Metro Tunnel in early December and welcoming passengers to the services. And also, time for everyone to come and try to get familiar with the new system and its stations. But also too, and just to again underscore how big a switch this is going to be to our network on the 1st of February, there will be a new timetable in place everywhere, on our trains, on our buses and on our trams as well, because this is integrating the Metro Tunnel not just with the Cranbourne, Pakenham and Sunbury lines, but with the entire public transport network.
From there, what we've effectively done is unlock the capacity for us to continue to add services across our rail network.
Well, again, investing in public transport infrastructure is something that we've done continuously, and we're in the process of continuing to remove level crossings, because not removing level crossings is great in terms of addressing local road congestion, making local streets safer, but it does also mean you can add more services. So for example, on the Upfield line, we've got level crossings being removed there. We've got more to do right across the network. We're not here today to make announcements of other projects across the network. Today is to get Victorians ready for the opening of Metro Tunnel for the summer start in early December, and then getting ready for that big switch that will come on the 1st of February.
The key parts of the announcement have already been made public by the time this video comes out, so I won't go over them in detail. The broad summary is that the first public trains will commence through the Metro Tunnel in early December 2025. No exact date has been confirmed yet because they're waiting on final safety certifications from the Federal Rail Regulator. This initial limited service, branded as Summer Start, will see new services running on the Cranbourne/Pakenham/Sunbury line through the Metro Tunnel between West Footscray and Westall. This is in addition to the existing timetable for all these lines through the City Loop, which will stay the same. Then the second important date is the 1st of February 2026, when full service will start. This will be when the Cranbourne/Pakenham and Sunbury lines combine and start running through the Metro Tunnel exclusively, coming out of the City Loop. This will change lots of other timetables as well, including buses, trams and other regional and metropolitan train lines, although we don't know yet what this looks like. The main change that we do know about is that the Frankston line will return into the City Loop, a fact confirmed by this new sign I spotted on Platform 2 at Parliament Station, with the green Frankston line colour underneath this current blue line sticker, ready to be removed for the big day. Finally, in terms of service provision, from the 1st of February, trains will run at least every 10 minutes through the Metro Tunnel between Water Gardens and Dandenong between 6 AM and 9 PM, with peak services running 3 to 4 minutes apart. This appears quite similar to the existing timetable for the Cranbourne-Pakenham line, but it does mean a big improvement for the Sunbury line up to Water Gardens, significantly increasing the frequency of off-peak trains. The announcement also implies that 10-minute headways will operate during these times on weekends as well, with a promise of over 1,000 extra services a week, which is also a huge improvement, extending 10-minute headway operating hours to be earlier and later on the Dandenong group, and introducing 10-minute weekend headways to the Sunbury line entirely. One more confirmed service change is the end of shuttle train services on the Cranbourne line, which means that all Cranbourne trains will continue through Dandenong and passengers won't have to change. This isn't just the result of the Metro Tunnel, but also previous projects to try to navigate around the mostly single-track railway at this point. If you're after more details about this, I've linked to some pages in the video description below. So from all of that, here are some particular points that I noticed from the press conference. For one of the first times, we heard quite a lot of references to frequency and service levels, and not just in the Metro Tunnel. One example was the Premier saying we can run more services because of new signals and bigger, newer trains. This topic has been the source of a lot of the speculation over the past few years, and although we did get information on what the Metro Tunnel timetable will look like, the information on changes to all the other timetables has not yet been published. The Premier also emphasised increased off-peak services, which, again, we haven't heard of much before and hopefully is a sign of things to come. One thing in particular that I noticed was something the Minister said towards the end, which was, this gives us capacity to unlock more services out to the western suburbs, as well as another reference to Sunshine Station. As many of you will already know, electrifying and increasing frequency to the western suburbs has been a long-delayed plan, so hopefully this is a signal for something to happen on this topic soon, perhaps in connection to Airport Rail, which the Minister also mentioned. Overall, these are very welcome announcements, and it's very exciting that we're getting this close to opening one of the largest rail infrastructure projects for Victoria in living memory. After that, we're now down here in State Library Station to have a look around, and to be honest, out of all of the Metro Tunnel stations, I think this one has to be my new favourite. We've actually had some test trains coming through, which is different to the other Metro Tunnel station tours as well, so it feels a bit more like an operating station. And all the escalators are on, and pretty much everything looks ready to go. So after all that, please enjoy this tour of the brand new State Library Station. Maybe the most exciting thing that happened here was where we went first, taken through the connecting section between the Melbourne Central Station Concourse and State Library Station. Compared to the City Loop, this station feels cavernous. It has very high ceilings and wide corridors, with plenty of room to swing a cat if you felt so inclined. I tried touching on, and to my surprise it actually worked. I even have it recorded in my Mikey history now. As you enter the station from here, you go down a large corridor where it splits off to the left and right, both with escalators coming up from and going down to the platforms. At 42 metres below ground level, this is the deepest of the Metro Tunnel stations, and as far as I can tell at least, the second deepest railway station in Australia, just behind Victoria Cross in Sydney. Visually, the station is fantastic. I especially like the orange arches and light fixtures down at the platforms. The whole place feels very grand, and elevated to a higher quality than any station we've had in Melbourne before. It's certainly a far cry from many of the suburban stations that we have. I believe that a lot of the architecture is designed to echo its namesake, the State Library of Victoria, with its high ceilings, bookcases and domed roofs. The scene that you get coming through the escalators also looks very nice. The plain colours and limited panels inside don't overwhelm you, and I'm happy to see that we are moving away from the strong daylight LED lighting that seems to have been a recent trend in underground stations, and that I find too bright and glary. On that note, it's worth pointing out that there are an odd number of escalators in each set. This is so that one can change direction in the morning and evenings to cater for peak times when there are a lot more people going in one direction. This is done in many other places and helps a lot for keeping passengers moving. While we're talking about appearances, although overall the wayfinding seems fine, I do have to include two minor complaints. The first is that the text and icons on many of the signs is too small, like this one on platform 1. The second is that station in Melbourne Central Station has been abbreviated to just STN. In both cases, it looks like there is plenty of room on the signs to accommodate both of these things, especially these huge ones in the centre of the platforms, and I'm not sure why either of these have happened. Something else that I noticed about the signs was this interesting design for the support brackets of the platform numbers up at the northern end of the platforms. I may have missed it at the other stations, but I don't believe I saw these anywhere else. Something else I've noticed, and please excuse the terrible lighting, but there are platform PIDs at the very end of the platform, which I don't believe I've seen before. They're normally at midpoints along the platform, but there is one here, which I think is very good because if you're waiting at the front of the train, it's very hard to see the platform PID just behind you. Further down the platform, it's very small. So having one here at the front and presumably the other end of the platform too will be a big help. Compared to my other Metro Tunnel station visits, this was the first to have trains actually running through with functioning PIDs and platform screen doors. They appeared to be running 2 test trains between Arden and Anzac in each direction for driver training. This was great because it meant we could get some nice shots of the trains entering and leaving the station through the glass panels at the end of the platform, which also gives you an idea of just how big these tunnels are compared with many other underground railways. The platform screen doors opened and closed for each train that arrived. They never stop in exactly the same place, but this was never an issue while we were there getting the doors to line up, because they are specifically designed with some margin for error. The screens tell you which doors are in operation, because as with all other Metro Tunnel stations, the platforms are longer than a current HCMT in order to accommodate future, longer trains without having to go digging again. I came out of the station through the Latrobe Street entrance on the northwest corner of the intersection with Swanston Street. It feels kind of strange exiting a huge new underground complex of infrastructure and then just back into the city streets with things pretty much as they were before the tunnel. It's here that you can also see the 2 lifts at this entrance that take you straight down to platform level. Having 2 is important for redundancy, just in case one of them breaks down. They clearly expect this entrance to be used a lot as there are 5 escalators in total. I suspect it will take a lot of pressure off the current disaster of trying to get through Melbourne Central Shopping Centre, which will be fantastic. This is also the point when we received our $100,000 cash bribes in a large paper bag in return for saying only nice things about the Metro Tunnel. But seriously, no, I wasn't paid to do or say any of this, and there was no attempt at editorial control from anyone. I very much valued this opportunity, and a massive thank you to the Metro Tunnel for inviting me along, but I will always tell you what I think, and for the record, I'm not able to be bribed, unless maybe you offer me some station signs from the Met. You may have spotted some familiar faces in my footage, and I'm sure that there will be more videos and social media coming out soon, if it hasn't already, from the others who were there. And by now you may have seen Tate Set's video from the same day. If you haven't, make sure you check it out. The link is up here in the top right hand corner. As usual, I will be uploading the photos that I took to my Flickr account under a free Creative Commons license, so check those out at flickr.com/philipmallis. And if you want to get videos early, see progress updates and get any bonus footage, check out my supporters portal at members.philipmallis.com. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Maybe even on the first passenger train through the Metro Tunnel.
Services departing State Library Platform 2 are the 12:11 Anzac, stopping all stations to Anzac via Town Hall. The 12:19 Anzac, stopping all stations to Anzac via Town Hall. The 12:36 Arden, stopping all stations to Arden. And always remember to touch on your Mikey at the start of your journey.